Alright, in today's video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to model a pair of high heel shoes. And this is the completed result. And I'm going to show you a rendered picture, and this is what it looks like rendered using Blender cycles. Alright, let's start from the beginning, and I'm going to show you step by step how to do this. Okay, first of all, let's start from a brand new scene. Okay, and then you start off with the box. Now, of course, the first thing you need to do is to get an image reference, and I found a great website. It's called I Like High Heels, and there are many different images that you can download. All right, so I found a shoe that I like, something that's simple and easy to model, like this one, the Chinese Laundry New Love High Heel Pumps. And I've downloaded the images, and then I've prepared them in GIMP to get this image reference to look like this. So basically, I brought in the 4 different images, and then I lined them up so that I got a good reference for me to model. Okay, so once you get this image, all right, you can bring it into Blender and then use it as your modeling reference. Now I'll be putting this image on my Google Drive account, and I will include the link at the bottom of this video, so you can just click on the link and then download this image reference for your modeling. Alright, so I'm going to just close this, and then I'm going to bring in the image first. So the first thing I need to do is to bring in the image. So I'm going to temporarily get rid of this cube first. I'm going to create another cube later on, and then I'm going to create a empty. So press Shift A and then select empty, and then under the options choose image. Alright, so once you've created it, you see the empty there with the image located here, and the next thing you want to do is to click over here on this tab. Alright, and then under the open button here, just click on open, and then navigate to the location containing your image reference. Okay, so it should be D drive here, Blender, and under high heels. And I've already prepared the image here, so I'm going to open up the image, and there you have it. So the image is now located here. Now I want to change the offset here to minus 0.5, and for the Y to minus 0.5 as well. Okay, next I'm just going to scale it up maybe about 4 times. Now let's make that 8 times. Okay, so I got one of the empty image reference lined up. Okay, so I'm going to reduce the transparency by 0.8. Let's make that 0.5. Okay, so that I can see through the grid lines here. Okay, so now I'm going to press 7 to go to the top view, and then I'm going to rotate. Alright, in the top view, rotate 90 degrees. Okay, so that I can have this shoe pointing downward like this. And I'm going to drag the X arrow manipulator until the green line here cuts right at the center of the shoe. Now I'm going to manually just move the shoe until it's dead center right about here. Okay, next I'm just going to duplicate by holding Shift D to duplicate another image reference. Okay, right mouse click so that the duplicate will snap back to its original location. And next, middle mouse click and hold, and then orbit rotate it. Okay, I want you to press R followed by Y to rotate along the Y axis, and then press 90 degrees. Okay, in this case, rotating 90 degrees flipped it upside down, so that's not what I want. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z to undo. I'm going to press R followed by Y minus 90 instead. Okay, so now I have the shoe pointing up for the side reference in the correct location. So now I'm going to grab the X axis, manipulator axis, and then push it aside. Okay, and I'm going to right mouse click and select the top reference, and then I'm just going to bring it down like so. Okay, now I need to have the front reference pointing this way. Now you can use either the back or the front, but for this modeling tutorial, I'm just going to use 3 image references. So I'm going to right mouse click the side reference here, and then Shift D to duplicate, and right mouse click so that it snaps back into place. Then press R followed by Z, and then press 90. Okay, make sure that the shoe front is pointing the orientation that you want, and apparently the front is pointing correctly. So now I'm just going to push this back. Okay, so now what you want to do is to ensure that when you switch between the front, side, and the top view, you have your references aligned correctly. So I'm going to press 1 to go to the front view. Pressing 5 will go to orthographic view so that you can see the grid patterns. Now you can see the Z-axis is splitting the shoe right into half like this. So that's what we want. Then next, I'm going to press 3 to go to the side view. And I'm going to make sure that the reference, going to right mouse click to select the side reference. Okay, and then I'm just going to move it just about half the distance here so that this is the side view that I want to use. And then I'm going to press number 7 to go to the top view, which we have already aligned, but I'm just going to make sure, okay, that, okay, right now it seems that my side view is a bit off. Okay, actually I shouldn't have moved it because I've already aligned this in GIMP. So I'm just going to press Control Z. Actually my alignment looks fine. Alright. So now, once you get your alignment, once you got the image references lined up properly, you can start to model. Now, in case you accidentally select and move the references, you can lock the transform parameters of the MT. So you can press N to bring up the properties, the transform properties, and I'm just gonna click on the lock buttons here to lock each of the references so they won't move around. So I select each of the references and then I lock them. Okay, so now we can start to model. So if you accidentally left mouse click and then your cursor is in the wrong position, whatever you create will appear at the position of the cursor. So if you have accidentally done that, press Shift C, okay, it will bring the cursor back to the origin. Now the next thing you want to do is to create a cube. So just press Shift A and then go to Mesh and then create a cube. Okay, in order to make the cube easier to see, okay, I'm going to change this cube to display in wireframe mode. Okay, so I'm going to press Z to go to wireframe mode. Okay, and then I'm going to split the cube into half. So I'm going to press Tab to go to edit mode. And then I'm going to press Control R. Okay, Control R and then move your cursor until it cuts the cube into half along the y-axis. Alright, make sure that you check the y-axis correctly. So this is where I want to cut, and middle mouse click. So now, left mouse click to engage the cut. And when you left mouse click, you notice that when you move your mouse, the cut is actually moving along the edge here. Now to ensure that you cut right at the center, you just right mouse click and you will snap and cut right at the center. Okay, next you want to remove half of the cube because we're going to use the mirror modifier so that we can just model half of the shoe first. So next we want to switch to the face selection mode. So you press Control Tab and then choose face. Then I'm going to right mouse click and select this face, and then I'm going to press Control number pad plus once to increase the selection. Then press X to delete away the faces. Okay, so now I have half a cube with the center, dead center here. I'm going to apply a modifier called the mirror. So I'm just going to click on the tool symbol here and then add a mirror modifier. Okay, so I'm going to turn on clipping so that the center is always merged together. And then I can start to model. Alright, so let's go to the side view first by pressing 3. Okay, and then I'm going to temporarily go to object mode first. I'm going to press Tab to go back to object mode, and then I'm going to press G to move the cube right about the center of where my reference is. Okay, and I'm going to press Tab, and then I'm going to start modeling the shoe. Okay, first I'm going to scale it along the z-axis. So I'm pressing S followed by Z. Okay, sorry. Press A to select everything first. Then press S followed by Z So you'll be scaling along the z-axis. All right. Then you can go to the front view and make sure that the shoe is following the thickness of your reference. So because mirror is activated, I just need to select this face. Okay, so right mouse click over the dot here, and then left mouse click and drag to move until you get the approximate thickness of the shoe, the width of the shoe. All right, I'm going to go to the top view. Okay, top view is looking fine, so I'm going back to my side view again by pressing numpad 3. I'm going to press A a couple of times so that all the faces are selected. Then I'm going to press R to start to rotate, okay, to get the uh, faces aligned to the reference. Okay, then I'm going to press Control R to insert a cut here. Okay, and then go back to face mode, and then start to basically model my shoe. Okay, I can scale this down. Okay, you can also switch to vertex mode. Press A, and then followed by B to border select. Drag a box over the vertices here, and then you can just simply grab and move the faces, or rather the vertices. So right now I'm just moving press A to deselect. Right now I'm just moving the vertices so that I'm getting a rough side outline of the shoe. Okay, I'm going to press Ctrl R again, insert another edge loop, because this is where I'm going to extrude the heel later on. Right. So now I got enough definition to pull out another section to come out to form the front of the shoe. Now before I carry on, I will start to position or move the vertices so that I follow the rough shape of the shoe. Press A to deselect. Okay. Make sure that I'm in top orthographic view. Yes. Okay. Press A to press B to box select and select these vertices, and then press A to deselect. And so what I'm doing here now is basically I'm shaping the shoe from the top view. Okay, so that it roughly follows the. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm just simply selecting and then pressing G to move the vertex. Okay, so I'm going to press Control Tab and then switch on to the face mode, and then go to the side view, and then I'm just going to press E to extrude another section here. Now I can scale it down because I know the shoe is tapered. Alright, now go to top view just to inspect to make sure that the shape is correct. Now obviously I need another cut here, or rather insert another edge loop here so that I can pull out to form the rounded corner here. So I'm going to press Ctrl R, insert another edge loop. Okay, press Ctrl Tab, switch back to face mode. Sorry, go back to vertex mode and select these two vertices and then just drag them to move them out, and then I can just manually pull this until it matches the rough shape. Okay, so this is looking good so far. I'm going to do the back portion or the heel here. Just going to select this face and rotate, and then you can press E to extrude, and you can actually scale it up, rotate, and then press G to move it up like so. Next, I want to select the vertices to vertex selection mode. Press A to deselect, press B to box select. Okay, when you're in wireframe mode, when you press box select and dragging over the vertices, two of these vertices will be selected. Okay, but when you're in shaded mode, okay, sometimes when you press B to box select, okay, only the front vertices will be selected. So it will be easier to work in wireframe mode by pressing Z. Okay, so that you can select both ends. Okay, so next, what I want to do is to continue tweaking the shape, okay, using the references. Okay, and I just want to check that these are okay, this is the top portion. This is the top portion of the vertex. Just gonna bring it down here. And this one is the bottom. I'm just gonna bring that down here. This one I can bring it down here. Now obviously a shoe is an asymmetrical object, so you will have to, right now we're just modeling it as a symmetrical shape for now. But once you get the rough shape correct, we will bind or combine the two halves together, right, using the modifier, and then we will adjust the tweaks later on. Okay, we'll see what I mean later on in this video. Okay, so right now I've switched on to face mode. I'm going to grab on to these two faces, right? Okay, right at the bottom here, and this is where I'm going to extrude the heel, right? So you just press E to extrude, and then press S to scale it down. Okay, I'm going to press rotate, press G to grab it to this section here, and maybe press S again, and press E again to extrude another section, and then press S. And if I want to flatten this along the Y plane, you just press S followed by Z and then 0. Okay, and then I'm just gonna press E one more time right down to here. Okay, I'm gonna switch back to vertex mode because I noticed that there's a round curve around the bottom of this heel here. Press A to deselect, press B to select this group of vertices, and then press G to bring it down. Okay, I'm gonna manually move these two vertices up like so. Now the trick here is to use as little vertices as you can to rough out the shape of the heel first, or rather the shoe first. Okay, and now roughly we have the shape. Okay, by pressing Z we have the shape of our shoe, and we even know the where we can create the opening for the shoe. So these faces will have to go, so I'm going to select these faces. I'm going to press X to delete away these faces. So right now I have a very rough, low resolution shoe. Now I'm going to insert another edge loop that runs across these faces. So all you have to do is just press Ctrl R and then insert the edge loop here. So now I have an added definition here, and I can create the closed up look of the shoe just by doing that. And again, if you press Z to go to wireframe mode, you can use that to help you to adjust the shoe to create the different, or rather to create the opening. Okay, apparently I press F here to create another extra face. That's not what I want, so I'm going to delete away this face. Can go back to vertices and then just going to pull out to create a gentle bulge. Alright, so you can see pretty quick that your shoe is coming out just fine. Problem right now is that it is a symmetrical shoe. The problem is our foot is not symmetrical. Okay, or lady's foot is not symmetrical. So now we have to tweak the shoe to make it asymmetrical. So the next thing we need to do is to apply the modifier. So I'm going to press Tab to go to object mode, and then I'm going to hit apply. So once you hit apply, it has become a single object. It's no longer a mirrored modified object. So we can tweak this shape, this basic shape that we have, to form asymmetrical shoe. So now all you have to do is to start to tweak. Now this one takes some experience, but with this low amount of detail, it should be quite easy to pull the vertices, or to recognize which is the bottom vertices and which is the top. So if you are confused, you can try this. You can increase another window. Okay, you can split up to another window. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm going to close the properties windows here. I'm going to split another window. Okay, so open up a 3D view, and then you go to the top view here. Okay, then go to edit mode. So when you click and select, you can see in the 3D view, perspective view, which vertex is being selected. So right now this is the top one, so I'm going to leave the top one as it is, and I'm going to select the bottom vertex. Okay, if you can't, you can always click here, and then you can see with this image reference, you know that this vertex should come in right about here. So I'm going to just move this one here. Okay, And then this one, this vertex, I'm gonna move it here. Okay, the back of the heel is usually more narrower here, especially this part here. So I need to find out which vertex correspond to that, which is this one. Okay, so I can pull this one right about here. Okay, let me undo that. Okay, I should insert another edge loop, probably much higher. Okay, I'm gonna insert one more edge loop right about here. Okay, so that this one can form the inner heel like so. Okay, I'm gonna go to wireframe mode. I'm gonna go to the top view. Okay, to form the interior of the shoe. Okay, again, use your references, switch between the top view, side view to tweak the shape of your shoe. Okay, and then this one is a rounded edge here, and now because you have more vertex detail, you can actually move the vertices until it matches the shape of the shoe. So we notice that this area here, okay, actually bulges out more, so which is around this portion here. So I'm going to make sure that I select the right vertex, which I can bulge out to match the shape of the reference. Okay. And if you want, you can insert another edge loop here, but I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible for now. So, okay, this one can perhaps go out a little bit more. Now, if you want to have a look at what the shoe will look like pretty much close to completion, you can apply a subdivision modifier. So I'm going to press Control 3. Okay, before I do that, I'm going to apply it to the whole object. Press Control the numbers rows on your top of your keyboard, Control 3 to apply a subdivision. And you can see we are getting there pretty close. Okay, so I'm going to apply a smooth. Okay, go to the Object Tools column here, and then apply a smooth shading. Okay, so you can see we are getting there. So now all you have to do is just continue to tweak the shoe. And to make your tweaking a little bit more organic, you can turn on proportional editing, turn it on. Okay, I'm gonna use a spherical modifier and just try to pull the points until the subdivided shape actually matches the reference that you are trying to model. Okay, so you can actually adjust the area influence by rolling your middle mouse. Okay, and you can actually tweak this fairly quickly using this method. Alright. Okay, for areas which you need to have a hard edge, okay, then you need to apply more subdivisions. So I'm going to press Control R, insert one edge loop right about here. Control R again, insert one edge loop, so I got a strong looking heel. Okay. Now, how do you create the sole? Okay, the sole inside here, because obviously you can see that now, although we have created the general shape of the high heel shoe, we need to have something for the ladies to put their feet in. Okay, so we can do that simply by creating a surface for them to step on. So I'm going to go back to edit mode. I'm going to press Alt right mouse click to create, or rather to select this edge loop. Okay, remember, I'm going to show you again. Alt right mouse click and select this edge loop and press Shift D to duplicate. Okay, and then I'm going to isolate this selection by pressing the / in your number pad. Okay, and then I'm going to, okay, let me get rid of this window. Okay, and I'm just going to temporarily move this up. Oops, undo. I'm going to Shift D, duplicate this, and I'm going to move it up. Oops, I forgot. Let me undo that. Because my proportional editing is on, it's going to move everything along with it. So I'm going to turn that off. Okay, I'm going to move this. I'm going to press Shift D again. Press G followed by Z, maybe about 5 units. Okay, so I move it up 5 units so that I can move it back again down 5 units. So I'm going to create a flat surface to form the sole. So in order to make everything subdivide properly, I'm going to just select across these vertices and press F. F to join them together. Okay, select, hold down Shift and then press F. Okay, and then you can, okay, I'm gonna select these edges here. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna press subdivide. Okay, select all these edges here and press subdivide so that you can have central vertices that go all along like that. So I'm gonna press F. Okay, basically what I'm creating is another surface, okay, another grid pattern so that it will fit nicely into the shoe itself. Okay, there are probably other methods of, okay, what I'm doing now is I'm selecting two opposing face edges and then filling them out. Now, if other viewers know a better way to do this, you're more than welcome to use the other method, but this is the method which give me consistent results. But anyway, so this got a nice flat sole that I can use now. Okay, so now I want to move this back because I've moved this sole up 5 units previously. So all I have to do is I can just hover my cursor over this element and press L to select linked object. Then I'm going to press G to move, but just now previously I moved in the Z-axis. Then I'm going to press Z, and because I move it up 5 units, I'm going to move it back down -5 units. I'm going to press -5. And then when you take a look at the shoe now, you have a sole inside. And it is a separate element which you can actually assign a different color to it. Okay, now granted the sole is actually slightly bigger. Okay, so what you can do, you can actually scale it down slightly. I'm going to scale it down in the Z-axis slightly. Okay, so that it doesn't protrude out of the shoe. You can see a little bit protruding here. Okay, if you go to edit mode again, and I'm going to turn on, now there's a useful tool here. I'm going to turn on enable proportional, but I'm going to try connected. So I'm going to just, it will just affect only the connected object. Okay, so I want to make sure that the sole doesn't stick out. Okay, fine, we have the shoe nicely done now. Okay, the heels are a little bit thick here. I'm going to turn off proportional editing so I don't mess up again. I'm going to press Z to go to wireframe mode. Okay, now we're still in isolated mode, so you press / again to get back to the reference view. Okay, I'm going to the wireframe mode, and then I'm going to select this portion and make it a little bit narrower. Okay, I'm going to press press A to make sure you deselect everything. Then press B to select the portion of the heel. Then I'm going to go to the front view. Press S followed by X. So in this case, I never use the back photo for my reference, but you can see here the back photo reference here. I didn't position it to match here, but you can see that it's much narrower than it really is. So you press S followed by Z to just narrow down the heel. Okay, so now it looks a little bit sexier, a bit nicer looking. Now the shoe here, this portion here looks a little bit too rounded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert one edge loop to make it look harder. So Control R to insert one edge loop right about here. Okay, so now this portion here looks much harder. Now if you can see, the shoe still needs a bit more tweaking. which isn't too difficult because the amount of detail on this shoe is still not that great. So you can still manually tweak this or sculpt this until you get a nice rounded profile. And obviously here we need to pull it out a little bit so that it fits the profile of the reference. Okay, and just pull this bit out a bit more. Okay, that is the sole, so I don't want to tweak around with the sole. Okay, the shoe is pretty much done, but one thing you need to do is to create this thickness or the look of a thickness here. Now, there are a couple of ways you can do that. You can press L to select only the linked object here. I do not want to thicken up the sole, I just want to thicken up the shoe. And then you can apply a modifier, okay, under solidify. Okay, and then you can just adjust the thickness. Okay, make sure the thickness go inwards. Alright. And then you have a shoe that has some thickness. But the problem with this method is that it generates additional polygon materials or polygon faces. So if you do not want to do it this way, there's a cheat. That is to just select the opening. Alright, I'm going to show you how to do that. Go to edit mode, press A to deselect. Hold your cursor over the opening, the edge, holding down Alt and right mouse click. Okay, and then press E to extrude. Alright, right mouse click so that it snaps back into place, and then use the shrink flatten method, which is Alt S. Okay, Alt S and then shrink inwards. Okay, just move your cursor inwards, and then you repeat, press E to extrude again. Okay, and then you can manually move this thing inwards. Alright, you have to do that in the side view. Just press G and then move the extruded edge inwards. So you created something that resembles some thickness, but you do not double the amount of polygons on your shoe. Alright, and essentially your shoe is done. Okay, so now how do I color it? Okay, so how I did mine is very simple. I only select these faces here. Okay, I'm gonna select the bottom faces here. I'm gonna show you quickly how I do my coloring or materials. I select the faces here and I assign it a different color, including this one. Oops. Okay, I need to go to isolate mode again so that it's easier for me. Okay, I press / to go isolate mode. Okay, so now I selected this portion, and then I just go to the material section here and I assign, okay, I want to do this, I want to render this in cycles, so I'm going to turn on cycles render, and then I'm going to create a new material, and I want it to be black. Okay, and then I'm going to assign. So it's only assigning to this portion. I'm going to assign it to this heel portion as well. Select the bottom 4 faces here, then control number pad plus to increase selection. Then I'm going to assign it to that section as well. Okay, so I'm going to press A to deselect. So if I select, okay, because there's only one material, so everything is now selected. So let me deselect. Okay, next I want to create a new material. I want to use a velvet material. Make it a bright. Let's change this into a pink color instead. Now pink doesn't look more reddish pink. Yeah. Alright, and then I'm going to select all. Let me just assign everything as pink for the time being. And then since now I got 2 materials, I'm going to reassign the black again and assign this the black material. Now when you're working with cycle materials, you can only see the effect once you hit render. So I'm going to select these faces here again and I'm going to assign them. Okay, now I'm going to press forward slash in my number pad to go back to uh, unisolated mode. Okay, I'm going to do a test render. Press 0, number pad 0 to go to your camera view. I'm going to right mouse click on the edge here to reposition the camera. I'm going to press F12 to render. And yeah, it looks pretty alright. Okay, so I'm just going to increase the brightness of this light a little bit more. Okay, and let's try. Okay, looks decent enough. Let me create a floor panel. Shift A, no, before I do that, press Shift C to bring the cursor back to the origin, then press Shift A, then add a plane, press S to scale it up. I'm going to assign a new material to that as well, maybe a beige material. Alright, then press 0 to go to my camera view again. I'm going to reframe this, and I'm going to press F12 to render it. And it looks pretty alright. Okay, so now you can see the shoe. Now I can see some segmentation here in the sole because I did not smooth it. Okay, I'm gonna select the shoe, go to subdivide mode. I'm gonna press, or rather go to the sub component mode, edit mode rather. Press a couple of times to select everything, and then I'm going to choose smooth. Well, actually, you can do that in object mode and select smooth. It's the same thing. Alright, so let's render that again. Looks good. And of course, if you're in cycles, you can always turn it in render mode all the time so that you can revolve around and take a look at it. And you can see the colors of the sole which I've assigned does work. Okay, so now the next trick is to create a pair. So how do you do that? I'm going to switch back to wireframe mode. Press Z again to turn to shaded mode. And this is actually pretty simple. Okay, all you have to do is press Shift D to duplicate another pair. Alright, press X to lock in the X-axis and position it here. And then I believe the command is Alt M followed by X. No, sorry. Should be, I think I forgot the command. So if you forget, you just press spacebar and that mirror. It's Control M, so it's not Alt M. So select the object that you want to flip, then press Control M, and then followed by X. So now I have another pair of shoes that is flipped, and then you have your nice pair of high heel shoes. I'm going to turn on the rendered look, and there you go. Okay, you can see my shoes are floating in space, so let's make it look a little bit nicer by bringing both of them down until it is touching the surface. So I'm going to rotate them slightly so that the heels bear down on the surface. Alright, and once you render that, okay, and that's what it looks like. So this is how you model a pair of high heel shoes in Blender. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you like it, subscribe, and I'll try to come up with more new tutorials. Thanks for watching.